Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Politics is a very interesting game. And for those who follow this channel, I've always stated that in politics there are two constants. The first constant in politics is normally betrayal. Betrayal is part of politics. That's why when you see Ruto claiming that Uhuru betrayed him, Mara Mudavadi was betrayed by Raila, or who betrayed who, that's a constant in politics. The second constant in politics is normally interest. As long as interest A and B can converge, any other thing doesn't matter. And that's why it's very common in politics to see sworn enemies working together as long as their interests are converging. In October this year, Kiraitu Murungi hosted the Azimio la Umoja meeting in his county. Very well organized, well attended, speeches delivered. And Kiraitu Murungi delivered a powerful speech on the person Raila Odinga. He praised Raila Odinga and he explained to the audience how they were planning to deliver the Mount Kenya votes to Raila Odinga. But because in politics, the only thing which is constant is interest, yesterday Kiraitu Murungi changed his mind from supporting Raila Odinga directly to now allowing his party to make that choice. He stated three things which I thought are important. Number one, that his endorsement of Raila Odinga during that Azimio meeting and later on were his personal assessment of what Raila Odinga can do. He still believes that Raila Odinga is actually the best bet for the presidency. So his announcement that he's supporting Raila Odinga, in his view, was personal. You see how politicians are very funny. Number two, he also cautioned Mount Kenya leaders to consider the interest of the people first before choosing the person they'll vote for as their presidential candidate. And he was very clear to someone like the Speaker of the National Assembly, Justin Muturi, that he cannot make it to the presidency, that Kikuyus can only, that Mount Kenya region can only produce the next president after 20 years. And then, lastly, the other thing which I noted is that he actually backed down on his support for Raila. And he's saying that if members of his party do not endorse him, then he will also not endorse him. Yeah, so he's saying that if his party members will say it's Raila, then it's Raila. If they will say it's not Raila, then it will not be Raila. And lastly, he was also very categorical that his Devolution Empowerment Party is going to field candidates in 4 or 5 counties: Embu, Isiolo, Tharaka Nithi, and Meru. But because in politics nothing happens out of mere coincidence, what do you think prompted Kiraitu Murungi to change his mind? What do you think prompted him? Because he cannot just wake up one morning to announce that it's now not Raila. Our party are going to choose or to decide. What do you think prompted him to make that change? In my view, I have only 4 reasons, and I want to be very brief today. I think number one, the ground is still in favor of the Deputy President, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, in his county or in the larger Mount Kenya region. And that is the truth. Apart from Kiambu, where Raila Odinga has started overtaking Ruto, you go to these other ones, Ruto is still ahead. Let's just assume that Ruto is 7 at 60 only, and Raila maybe 30. Any politician would want to associate with the winning team. So if Kiraitu Murungi were to run for the gubernatorial seat again, it will mean very simple thing if you were to run, where majority of voters, politically speaking, are So if they're in UDA, then it will be easy for him to retain his seat. If he will be in for ODM, then it will not be very easy for him. Because even if Raila were to be at 40, they said this other guy is at 50, still, those are the equations. So basically the ground is talking and is listening. Because for Raila Odinga, is comfortable. Raila Odinga will be comfortable with any outcome for him in the larger Mount Kenya region. Whether he gets 20, whether he gets 30, 40, 50, is comfortable with any results. Because if anything, he's always received 2%. So I want to believe that Kiraitu Murungi is listening to the ground, and the ground is telling him that hapa nyumbani in Meru, if you want to win, the first thing you need to do is to switch camps from Raila to Ruto. So in my view, the ground. Number two, it could be division within his party. And this is normally very common. You see, it's very possible to engineer a rebellion or division, create divisions within political parties. I want to use the case of, let's say Raila. You see, Raila was working very closely with Ford Kenya, Wetangula, and ANC Mudavadi. When they fell out, there was still Ford Kenya, right? So Raila Odinga managed to penetrate. So in Ford Kenya, then emerged two factions. One formed the other party the other time. It's also possible, for example, that the moment Kiraitu Murungi declared his support for Raila Odinga, William Ruto reactivated his strategies. And what he did was to look for who matters who, where in this party of Kiraitu Murungi. And through those, he was able to realize that these guys are going to have this meeting, or these meetings are normally held. So you simply identify a few guys, troublemakers, and put them on your side and tell Kiraitu, and ask them to tell Kiraitu, sisi hatutakubali hii maneno ya kutopeleka kwa Raila. So division is there. So to avert that division or a fallout, it means he has to take now a moderate stance. And the moderate stance he has taken is that for them, they are waiting for the party to decide. And you know, parties don't decide. If parties were to decide, even Raila Odinga maybe not the presidential candidates. Party leaders decide what happens in their parties. So I think there is serious division which have emerged in Kiraitu's Mbas, which in my view is the biggest problem for him. Number three, it could be a strategy for Kiraitu Murungi to raise the stakes of Mount Kenya East in Azimio la Umoja. You see, Raila Odinga is planning to have a running mate from Mount Kenya. Mount Kenya East are coming that we are here, give us. Then you see Raila Odinga is leaning towards now someone else who is not from Mount Kenya East. Then you create tension. If he's moving like side of Peter Kenneth or someone else, you create division. You raise stakes. So the fact that he's leaning towards maybe Peter Kenneth, and he's saying, Sisi, our party will decide. Then Raila Odinga will reach out to him. Then atambia, Baba, you see, Mount Kenya is for us to survive politically. You must give us the running mate. I think it's just raising the stakes. And lastly, it's local politics. Local politics in Meru. Kiraitu Murungi has his bus. Peter Munya has his vehicle, PNU. Peter Munya is emerging as a potential running mate to Raila Odinga. But should that not materialize, his backup plan is to go back and recapture his seat. Tell me if Kiraitu Murungi would allow that. And you see, Azimio la Umoja had actually started giving Peter Munya that clout, that visibility which everybody within political circles is actually yearning for. The other day, Peter Munya represented Raila Odinga when Ford Kenya defectors were announcing their new political party. So the truth of the matter is that local politics is at play. Kiraitu Murungi is just telling Raila that Baba, Munya anataka kukuja hapa. Please don't allow him to come. If you make that mistake, I'm going to transfer the bus to the other camp. And the good thing is that in the other camp, the color is yellow, green. Mbaz is yellow and green. I don't know what to think. That's my take. Thank you guys, and please may you have a good day. Bye-bye.